Check it. Alright guys, what is up? You are back for another video. Of course, we got your standard update and prediction, giving you guys an update and prediction on what we could see tomorrow for AMC, GME, and SPY. Of course, this video is not financial advice and should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop in the charts, the facts, the data, and see what we have going on. Alright guys, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. And this we're going to be looking at AMC, GME, and SPY. This is your daily update and prediction, giving you guys the projection for what we expect for the rest of the week and until tomorrow. And again, I will be live streaming tomorrow, so you can check me out live tomorrow. Go ahead and tune in around 9 o'clock, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time to catch me live for market opens, news, prediction, and more. So let's go ahead and hop in the charts. This video is not financial advice and should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's go and hop in the charts, the facts, the data, and see what we have going on. So the first thing we want to point out, obviously, is for SPY. Looking at SPY, got to push the upside. We did track SPY throughout the day, getting this very, very accurate. As you guys can see, this white dotted line is what we were looking at for SPY as the fractal and the price path for expecting SPY to move, basically staying flat, consolidating in between this range of 488 and 485, in between that region. As you guys can see, SPY came up for another retest of this level of about 488.25, coming up here and then getting rejected, moving back to the downside. So this is going to be a major level of resistance here at about 488.20, 488.25, around that range. And that is going to be the major resistance for tomorrow and what we're looking at to see if that gets broken. If that gets broken, you could see a decent move to the upside, but it wouldn't be like a $10 move. It would be about like maybe $4, maybe $5, because RSI is getting extremely overbought. RSI is sitting at 73 on the daily time frame, as well as being outside of the Bollinger Bands. As you guys can see, price sitting right on the bands as of right now. This is not sustainable. This type of price action is not sustainable, and when you deviate this far outside of the bands, price wants to come back inside of the bands. So again, this is not sustainable, especially with these high RSI levels. So again, momentum is going to start fading out. You're going to see what it's doing now, basically what you're seeing now. We had this big push up. Now momentum starting to fade out. As you guys can see, we're starting to flatten out and go flat. We might get like one more little pop to the upside, but then it's going to be an overall pullback. So again, we're not looking for some massive rally to some crazy new highs. What we're looking at is another pump to the upside, possibly before an overall pullback if we do break that 488 level and use that as support. So what most likely is looking like what's going to be happening basically on the smaller time frame is we'll probably be rejecting from that level, because if you look at the MACD is flipping bearish on the 4-hour time frame. MACD is flipping bearish on the 2-hour time frame. RSI is pretty high on the 4-hour time frame, so if you do make a move up, there is little to no room to run at all. And then again, here on the daily time frame, you're overbought as well. And then if you look at the weekly time frame, you guys can see that you're overbought on the weekly time frame as well. Again, this rally is not sustainable. SPY is in a massive rising wedge, and you will see this come to the downside. If you see back in history, every time RSI on the weekly time frame gets this high, look at last time RSI got overbought. You can see at the bottom of your screen, we had this pullback here. And then if you go ahead and look, last time RSI got extremely overbought, you had this pullback here. So every time RSI normally gets this bought historically, even if you go back further, you guys will see that massive pullbacks, about 10 to 20, maybe even 30% corrections normally follow after that. Also, normally when the market makes a high and then comes down and then the next year makes another high, historically that has been historical context for the market being extremely overbought and in need of correction. Unfortunately, I do think we are in a bubble in the market that we are seeing. If you go ahead and look at stocks like Nvidia have that are basically driving this rally. The semiconductors and AI are extremely overbought. Here on the weekly time frame, you can see RSI is at 76, and it is sitting outside the bands as well. Again, all of these stocks extremely overbought, overvaluated in my personal opinion, and in need of a massive correction before I would even touch these, because you want to be buying at the point of maximum financial opportunity, not the point of maximum financial risk. And when you're buying at the top, that is the point of maximum financial risk. There is very little reward at the top, and there's a lot of risk to the downside. You want to be buying things that are at the bottom where there's little risk to the downside, because it can only go down a little bit more because it's already been going down so much, 80-90% from the highs. And you want that reward to the upside because you are 80 to 90% from the highs. You don't want to be buying when you're 10-20% from the all-time highs, because there is very little upside reward for the amount of risk that you're taking on, because while you're at the highs, you could lose 80 to 90% of your investment. So again, all of this stuff looking very, very overbought to me. Me personally, I do hold SQQQ as a hedge. This pays me dividends while I am waiting for the eventual correction that I do think is coming. And this is what I'm looking at for SPY as far as what we could see as far as tomorrow. I do think we'll probably just get rejected from that level. Again, you could see a slight pop above it, but I don't see us moving to the upside. I will be live tomorrow giving you guys an update and prediction, but most likely what's going to happen is you're going to come back down and retest 486 and then probably use that as resistance and move back to the downside. It looks like we're potentially making a double top as well, but we won't know until tomorrow's price action starts to happen. Most likely we'll know within the first hour to 2 hours of the market being open. With that being said, we also have some news dropping tomorrow, which could impact the market greatly. If this has any type of negative effect, seeing that rally would absolutely get out of play. But we do have core PCE, personal income month over month, and personal spending month over month, and we will be watching those numbers as well during the live stream as they drop on their respective times around 9:30. So that's what we're looking at for SPY. Let's go ahead and hop into AMC, show you guys what's going on for AMC, and then go into GME and then wrap up the video. So I just want to point out for AMC, short interest is slightly increasing. We are seeing the shares available to borrow decreasing, which is good. We want to see this number get lowest to close to zero, because that means liquidity is drying up. We're at 350,000 shares available to borrow. If you go ahead and look at what AMC is doing right now, it is in a falling wedge. We do have the MACD starting to try to curl up on the 2-hour time frame. If we look at the 1-hour time frame, we do have green MACD, so this is looking bullish, and we do have a green MACD on the daily time frame. This is looking bullish. RSI is extremely oversold, and again, this is the type of stocks that you want to be buying. Stocks, not financial advice, but stocks that are beat down, been going down for a while, and are down 80 to 90% from your lows. This is where you want to be buying, because this is the point of maximum financial opportunity, especially with all these gap fills to the upside. AMC will be recovering whether you believe it or not, and this is how the cycle of stocks work. Again, I know it doesn't make sense to some people, but I've been in the game long enough to know exactly what is happening. I know that might sound arrogant, but again, it just is what it is from experience, reading the charts and trading for so long. This is literally the opportunities, and AMC and GameStop are providing a golden opportunity to get an investment of a company that is extremely undervalued, in my personal opinion. As you guys can see, it is in a falling wedge. If we break above this sloping resistance, you're going to see a good pop to the upside. AMC, it does have max pain at $4.50. They're going to try to push it to that level by Friday. So do expect some upside here in the later half of the week, especially if the market starts to pull back. If the market starts to pull back tomorrow, you're going to see that. And we did see some signs of weakness today, so you could see that market pull back tomorrow. If we get above the levels of $4.13, that is the level you're looking for to see if we can use that as support. What you want to see is AMC break above this sloping resistance, and this is why you want to tune in to my channel to make sure to see where the levels are at, because I have the chart here, and these levels are very, very accurate, and they do work very, very well. As anybody who's seen my live streams, you see all this stuff play out in real time that I show you on the videos, and that's why the technical analysis is so accurate. As you guys can see, what we want to see is a push to the upside, and this is pretty much what I think we could expect from AMC. Basically, what you see here is a flat pre-market, then a drop to the downside, retesting $4 as support during the morning, and then a overall recovery throughout the rest of the day, leading back to the upside. So again, this is very, very realistic for what we could see on AMC stock, especially retesting that 406, I do apologize, 406 level as support, which we have used several times today as support. If you go ahead and look at what AMC's done on the smaller time frame, we've used it 1, 2, 3, 4 times as support. Most likely we will use it one more time as support, getting that bounce on that falling wedge and moving back to the upside. So that's what we're looking at for AMC as it builds support, and this is what you want. Building support that cannot be broken, building a bullish base so we can make a recovery back to the upside. Exactly what we want to see. AMC is doing it, guys. Also, we want to see the short shares available to borrow to getting lower and short interest increasing. That's what we're seeing as well. We're also seeing FTDs start to slowly come back. We want to see that as well. Cost to borrow not looking too good. It did have a pop to the upside, a slight pop to the upside. We want to see cost to borrow levels go up, but this is what we're looking at for cost to borrow for AMC as of right now. Let's go ahead and show you guys the GME and then wrap up this video. 22.48% short interest for GME, and as of right now, as time of recording, they do have 100,000 short shares available to borrow. That could change as of early as this morning. Now, if you go ahead and look at what GME did, GME has a decent gamma ramp building because it did break above $14.50. If GME remains above $14.50, you're going to see a good move to the upside because it has a decent gamma ramp, probably about to $15.50. GME is looking for a bullish move. If you go ahead and look, GME has the Bollinger Bands constricting. The only thing that worries me about GME, it does have 2 gap fills to the downside, a gap fill at 14.18 and a gap fill at 13.86. Those gaps will get filled just the same way AMC's gaps will get filled to the upside, just the way SPY's and NASDAQ gaps will get filled to the downside. These gaps will get filled. As you guys can see, GME breaking out of a falling wedge. Decent move to the upside today, about a 4 or 5% move to the upside for GME stock as it started moving to the upside. This looks extremely bullish for more price action to the upside. MACD on the 4-hour time frame green, MACD on the 2-hour time frame green, MACD on the 1-hour time frame green. This looks like a decent a setup for another continuation to the upside. MACD on the daily time frame starting to curl up. I want to point out that GME is also perfectly forming that depression bottom. So this is the depression bottom. Basically, if you see, it's a double bottom on anger, V-shaped recovery to a higher low, double bottom on anger here, then V-shaped recovery to a higher low. GME is about to make a what's called a disbelief rally where it starts moving to the upside. People don't believe it, and it's about to make another bull run, and you can easily see that when you zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. You can easily see that if you go ahead and look at the monthly time frame. We're breaking out of a massive falling wedge, and the MACD is curling up. We're about to get green MACD here within a couple of months. Very, very obvious what's going on for GME as it starts to move back to the upside, going back out of its anger phase and moving back into another bull run, and we will see where those price targets take us. We do have price targets at $30, $40, and $70 for GME, but I do believe if the short interest and things get out of control, you could see much, much higher prices on GME stock, especially if you do see a short squeeze. And with the numbers that GME does have, you could see a short squeeze. A ton of it is locked up in computer share. Over 48% of it is locked up in computer share. GME has a much smaller float than AMC and is prone to very volatile moves because it is very illiquid. It could be prone to a liquidity crunch at any time and see a massive short squeeze. I'm not saying that AMC could not see a massive short squeeze, but what I am saying is GME in its state right now, in the state it is right now, GME could set off a trigger that would have helped AMC squeeze. But right now, it's most likely that if we did see a move, it would probably be from GME at first. But you do not want to sleep on AMC as it still has 9% short interest. And you can see a short squeeze between anything at 8 to 10% short interest. And again, a little bit of speculation. We could have hidden short interest and a lot of things that we don't see under the hood for AMC. But right now, with the numbers that we do have, we still could see a short squeeze. But if we did see it just based off the numbers we're seeing, basically GME would probably squeeze a little bit higher if short started to cover because GME does have more short interest. But basically, this is everything I have for you guys. Both of the stocks are setting up for a good move. I do believe that we will see a top here soon on SPY, as it is getting very, very overbought. I do believe that AMC is going to see a bottom. I do think it is actually bottoming right now, as it's going to break out of this wedge. I think that the prediction that we have right here is looking very, very good. AMC is going to fill all of the gap fills back to the upside, which goes all the way back to $30 to $40. Once we get up to that level, we could see a short squeeze or shorts covering from there, which could drive us to higher prices. But this is what we're looking at for both the meme stocks. Our time is coming. I do believe that. I base everything off the charts, the facts, and the data. This is not hopium. This is literally what the chart is telling me. If you found the video informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. And remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more DataZero updates. And I appreciate you if you watch to the end of the video. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out. Alright guys, that was the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. Remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more DataZero updates. I appreciate you if you watch to the end of this video. And again, I will be dropping more types of videos trying to dive into the news and other aspects of AMC and trying to make the content less repetitive and make it more informative and add more value. So not only with the technical analysis, I'm going to try to start adding news into the videos and different types of updates and predictions. And with that being said, peace out.